everybody, and welcome back to another great episode of Bold Takes and Bad Tempers. I'm your host, Zachary Ronaldo, better known online as Zach the Bold. Clean intro for once. I will be in Georgia by the time this is dropping, so if any big news happens over the weekends, which I'm sure, we'll make sure to talk about it. I like how I had that revelation, talking to someone about, I can't remember if it was at Gen Con or where I was at. No, I was on my vacation in Mackinac City from a Goosebumps horror novel or a Disney Channel original movie. Take your pick. And someone had to tell me that, they're just their homebrew game. Even though I get 1,000 million questions a day, they had to tell me that to be like, oh, right. I didn't realize that people don't care about the news because it's the news about D&D. They don't care because no one plays the Adventures in the first place, unless you're playing Adventurers League. So, but if anything crazy happens, Sigil's gone. For the 99% of you who are listening to this that is like, what's Sigil? It was the attempt to make a virtual tabletop that only worked with 5090s. It used, I think, the Baldur's Gate engine. I don't know what engine the Baldur's Gate games used. And I don't know. Dead on arrival, I think. It was promised. It was not hyped. It came and it went. And it made zero difference. So it's gone. What do you want me to say? Honestly, what do you want me to say? I have to be at the airport in an hour. So I'm not there in an hour. I got to leave in 1 hour. So it's going to be a tight episode. I wasn't able to prepare a monologue today because I'm a little bit hungover. We had a Halloween party last night. And it was great. And saw a lot of friends that I haven't seen in a bit. But yeah, I try to do the thing where you drink the hangover. Growing up, it was you have to go out and you got to stop at the Heart Stop Cafe in Vegas and eat a burger 3 times your size or you hair of a dog it. And we have science now. We have things like milk thistle, milk of the poppy. We have science now, and you can take pills, and you can. I remember in college, one of my friends was like, "You got to take charcoal pills," and I was charcoal pilled. I was charcoal pilled, and that didn't do anything for me. But now they have these recovery drinks and whatever, and thank God they work. I think I would be an alcoholic if God didn't give me terrible hangovers. I think I would have been a frat bro. Partied all the time in high school, partied all the time in college, and fate chose it so that I didn't. I think truly what would stop me, and I see these videos online where it's like, man, does this beer remind you of last night? You want to go out again? And now I'm like, if I tasted a beer right now, I would rather do nothing. I would rather. So we tried these recovery drinks, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't. And today, it's not hitting as hard as I was hoping. I'd hope to be at full recovery because I'm about to fly through the air in a tin can. I'm really trying, you can train your brain. I've been trying to say it for a while now, I love flying. I love flying in a tight plane where I have no leg room. I love it. And I got to say it. I can't say for a second that I hate it because I do. I love flying. And I've never left the country. And I don't want to be on a plane for 16 hours. No, I'd love to. You don't like lotion. I know a lot of people don't like lotion on their hands. You got to do it. You got to put it in your hands and go, I love this. I love this right now. Train your brain. Last week we had a riot because I talked about a story of me minding my own business, having a nice 2-minute in between sets. And I love when people are like, well, that's actually a long amount of time. Well, that's the point of the story is that it doesn't matter. I could have taken 7 hours because there's 40 other of the same exact machine around me. Anyways, and someone top comment on last episode, it was apparently their aunt, and they came home crying, and I was a big old bully. Well, I went back to the same gym sometime this last week. This is post disruption lady, and so I'm just like, everyone, please leave me alone. I'm actually in a part of the gym. There's 0 people. I can say with confidence, 0 people. Well, the owner of the gym comes over and he goes, hey, and sometimes he just waves and I go by, whatever. I'm sorry. I don't want to be working out my jaw. All right. I want to work out and leave. And then he comes up to me and I'm like, oh, great. Oh, great. Because this guy's like, he's your typical boomer, like, charismatic, nice guy, whatever. But always loves to talk. And that's all he does. Like, that's why he has this gym. It's so he can just talk. And then he comes up to initiate a conversation with me. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be a bad guy. Like this old man can come up and make a conversation with me. That's fine. But he comes up and he goes, oh, hey, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? And I go, I got my headphones on. Again, noise canceling. Put my headphones on. Like, oh, good to see you. Whatever. And every time I've talked to this man, I end up messing up and I say something stupid. Like one time, the first time he tried to give me a handshake, I jammed my thumb into his palm. And then it was just like, he makes small talk, like the kind of small talk where it's just something that's so overly explained, something that is so personal to his life that you don't know where to go except like, oh, yeah, wow, that's crazy, because you just don't know what to say. But I'm ready. Like I'm mentally prepared to engage in this man in conversation. I should have took an allergy pill before. I'm touching my face again. And he goes, I saw a deer and a doe out back. And I go, oh, yeah, that's crazy. And he goes, yeah, did you hear about the price of deer nuts right now? And some of you already know where this is going. And I go, oh, no. And I'm like, are they like corn nuts? I don't know what the heck this person's talking about. Are they talking about deer testicles? He goes, yeah, the price. Have you heard about the price? And I go, no. He goes, oh, they're under $1. And I go, $100. Wow. And he goes, no, they're under $1. I go, $100. Wow, that's expensive. The economy's crazy right now. He goes, they're under $1. And I go, oh, under $1. Like they're deer nuts. Yeah, I get it. Because they're under $1. He goes, all right. And he walks away. And I go and I'm steaming. And I'm doing tricep push downs. I didn't hear him. I didn't know what the fuck. I didn't know what he was talking about. Who comes up to someone and goes, do you know the price of deer nuts? And I didn't hear him. I guess under $1, that makes sense. I go, under $1. After twice saying $100, that's crazy. Why are they so expensive? And he's looking at me because like I'm the lowest IQ man. It's like he might as well have come up to me, took a flashbang and just let it. He might as well came up to me and been like, hey, buddy. I turn around, take off my ear, and he has a can of bear spray. And for those who don't know how bear spray works, some of them, you pull a pin and it explodes forward like a grenade. He might as well just done that. Boom! And like literally the wall is covered in this orange mace and my eyes are closed as it's burning. And just the back wall, the background is like all orange except the outline of me holding my headphones up. And then he's like, what's the square root of 1654? Yeah, I listen. I just can't do it. I just can't do it anymore. I need a big shirt that says, don't talk to me. Like those, don't talk to me, I'm gaming shirts. Like that's what I need. I need a don't talk to me, I'm gaming shorts. I need to wear basketball shorts that are baggy and go beyond my knees. And I need to wear like, it's the one kid like, like drawn like this. Hey, if I could get rid of 3 things, it'd be school, my sister, and not playing video games. And it's a kid like this, or it's Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes pissing. Like, that's how I need to dress, honestly. And I need to eat off my stomach. Listen, because I give the vibe that I'm like a well-adjusted finance guy that was raised right, and then they come up to me and they go, hey, he goes, hey, you know how much deer testicles are going for? And I got $100. So that's been my week. I have no other monologue or anything. I just thought that everything in life is exhausting and I have insomnia. I haven't made an announcement yet. Big news. I'm an Avatar: The Last Airbender ambassador for Magic the Gathering, and I don't know what I can and cannot show yet, so I will show nothing. So there'll be a couple of things. There'll actually be 5 long forms, most likely this month, and that's because one of them will be me opening some Avatar: The Last Airbender packets, and there'll be a couple of stipulations around that, as well as I'm doing a live stream playing Magic the Gathering Arena where I will be playing, showing off the cards. I won't be showing any cards, but I'll be playing the game with cards, and I'll be playing with a bunch of other Magic the Gathering creators. So we'll be doing a live stream for that. You can ask me questions. You can ask me about my life. It is not going to be chill. It's not going to be chill. It's not going to be homey. It's not going to be just like a laid back thing. It will be aggressive. I will be yelling a lot, and you won't learn anything. You won't learn how to play Magic better. You won't learn how to, play cards in a different, you're not going to learn anything. You will be mad the whole time because I'll be misplaying a bunch and I'll be yelling. So if you want to tune in for that, check out, if I get a date by the time this goes up, I might get it on Monday. I will let you know. But as of right now, I'm Avatar The Last Ember. Anyways, I saw in the last episode, lat pull downs isn't lateral. It doesn't stand for lateral pull down. It stands for latissimus dorsi, some Latin word about the muscles that it works out. And I just think that's stupid. So we're going to change the name, guys. Lat pull down doesn't work anymore. It's keeping people away from working out. It's too complicated of a name. So instead, they'll be known as LMW PDP FAPs, because that is clearly a better name. It's a synonym. It means everything that it is, and that stands for lateral movement while pulling down bar from a pulley. And that, I just think that's a better. I just think it's better because it encapsulates more. It's not just like a lat pull down. It can encapsulate, other movements about pulling down a bar. And I think latissimus dorsi it's just not working out. And it's been like that always. So we are introducing LMWPDBFAP, which is lateral movement while pulling down a bar from a pulley. Well, with that being said, I'm just going to go into questions. I really have nothing to talk about. I am pinned for time. I don't like saying that. What the fuck? I'm a little pushed for time. So I have a bunch of questions because I need to kind of catch up to some of the newer months. We're going back as late as August, July, August. And there's a couple of quick questions, a little bit longer ones. And I'm going to try to blow through them. Again, it might be a shorter episode, but I had a full week. We had to put out the long form for... What did I just make? Oh, about how my thoughts on dungeons and how I don't like them. And I haven't looked at the comments yet for that, but I'm sure they're just a blessing. Dear Mr. Bold, what are your views on alter ego characters? I want to make a character that will let me explore parts of myself I haven't confronted from perspectives I haven't considered, but I don't want to make a copy of me who's also a wizard. Is the solution just to make him suck? I don't want comfort. I want truth. I want real vulnerability. I want sin. So I'm going to... Whoa, okay. Wow, that is a hot question to start. This is probably something that I would see in, if you were ever a server or a bartender and you have dreams about doing it, but every time it's like you have a full section and no one's around and you're out of all liquor and you're out of all food. There's dreams where you're a theater performer and you're in a new show and you don't know any lines and it's opening night. This, for me, is the nightmare I would have when a player would approach me before a D&D game, like Session 0. They would come up and they'd be like, Zach, I want to explore myself with this character. I want to make an alter ego of myself to explore my sins, to find truth and comfort in myself. Go to therapy. Talk to someone. Talk to an adult, because I don't think an adult wrote this. The way of you discovering, go to confession. If you say, I want sin, go to confession. Shockingly, the way to go about it isn't to go up to your friend or someone playing Adventures League and being like, this is Kaz, the reverse of me. They are a wizard, but they suck because they're just a normal person in a fantasy world. And everyone there at the table is really trying to support them because they're going through a lot. Their pet hamster died from when they were a kid. This person is wearing, a shirt that says, I want to just play video games and I hate my sister and it's a kid like this with a remote. buddy, talk to a trusted adult. Do not do this. This is a nightmare. Do not explore yourself using your friends or whoever it may be to explore your truth in an alter ego way. Do not make it so that you're not a wizard and just a normal guy and that you suck. Do not isekai yourself into someone's D&D game. I think literally this is a question that if any DM you get this, you got to sit down and have a one-on-one. It's not every day. A lot of people do, if you're HR, you got to fire a lot of interns or turn down, give out a lot of rejection letters and all of that. But for a lot of people, you don't confront others one-on-one like this. And for a lot of men too, sitting down across from someone is a little bit difficult when it's another man. If this happens to you, you got to sit them down and be like, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about that you are so desperate as a call for help that you need to sit down in my game and you need to say that you want sin and truth and to find yourself in my game and you want to isekai yourself in my game. I desperately, whoever emailed this in, I desperately want you to find something. And that answer is not a D&D game. They say blessings on your bloodline. Whew, yikes. All right. Hey, Zach, a couple of weeks ago, you answered a question about making a puzzle that required an IGN walkthrough to solve. Had me thinking about one shot where I'm working on. How do you balance making puzzles that are fun to work through and not overly simplistic, but also not stupidly complicated? I have a puzzle that is solved with either the Konami code or spelling out the word banana. Banana! Do you think something like that is too niche? Should I include ways for my players to get hints to solve the puzzle, or should I try to rework it? Ask Brenda, why'd you say it like that? Or should I try to rework it to make it easier to solve? The biggest problem I found with puzzles in D&D is that you haven't painted you haven't painted a good enough picture for people to figure out, because this goes back to like the game design mechanic things, right? You can see the full picture. There's a way of putting things together. A puzzle is a puzzle because you have to put elements together, guys, to reveal a bigger answer. And so a puzzle isn't like, you have to, I don't even know, like trying to come up with a puzzle right away. Like the puzzle I always go through is like, sometimes like I always do this for introductory puzzles for new players. In order to go forward, you must go back. And the answer to that puzzle, whenever I run it, is that you walk backwards into the door, and then it just like you phase through the wall or whatever. But it allows that, like, there's nothing about that puzzle inherently that I need to paint more of a picture for. I say it's a blank wall. It's like a brick wall. Typically, if you say like a brick wall, it then reminds me of that Harry Potter thing where they go through the wall. And then you say there's a thing at the top and there's nowhere else to go. It looks like it's a hallway, but this is in the middle of it. And so that's enough for them to start prodding around. Puzzles are incredibly hard, but if you're having a problem with like people just like, if they're asking too many questions, it might be because you just didn't paint a good enough picture. But hey, Zach, just a nerd living in Utah who loves D&D and loves Star Wars. While I love Star Wars, I've never had much of an interest in playing Star Wars tabletop RPG. I love the Star Wars Knight of the Old Republic RPG video game, but I was curious on your thoughts on Star Wars as a franchise. And do you think there are good Star Wars tabletop RPGs out there? Well, I certainly can't answer your second part of the question because my first part of my question is I don't care much for it. It's just not like gritty enough. It's not serious enough for me. I'm not a prequel. I love seeing edits on TikTok that make me think the prequels were like the best movies ever made. And then I go and I watch them and I hate them and they suck. Like they are cheesy. The dialogue's garbage. But then I watch like a TikTok edit and I go, I guess Anakin is pretty cool. Like that's like, there are good elements. And then I watch it and I'm just like, oh man, what else? What other series did that for me? I think I talked about this on the podcast before. I, of course, didn't like the sequels. No one liked the sequels. I think that, objectively, the first 3 Star Wars films are great and they're a part of, cinematic history and they established a lot going forward. It's just not my thing. I wish it was like really gritty, not to be like edgy or anything like that. But I like Lord of the Rings a lot, and those are uncomparable. But I'm also not a sci-fi guy. I love Warhammer 40K, but it doesn't feel like that kind of sci-fi. I also like Warhammer 40K because it's so over the top. And what is it in Star Wars lore, like a Glunch Shido or whatever? And it's those characters where they're like very small in these movies, but they have like a huge wiki page. And it's just stuff like that I don't really like. It's just not for me. It's not that they're bad, you know. The prequels I'm not a fan of. I really don't like that there was a huge thing about the prequels having a renaissance, and now apparently like people will defend them to their death. But I know that like I haven't seen Rogue One, and I know Rogue One is probably way more up my alley. Like it can be done great. I heard that like the movie that Adam Driver wanted to make about Ben, dude, like I'm not even trying to be like, oh, sports ball, Ben Solo. I just really don't know. I read about what that movie could have been, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That sounds really great. But I know there are Star Wars TTRPGs, but I have listen, just look through the comments of the video. People have their opinions. Apparently, Start Playing, big supporter of the show, wrote up a couple. The guy to the, holy moly. Oh man, stop stuttering. Star Wars 5e. It's pretty much a D&D like. I think I am going to use that, by the way, for the term, because I think it pisses off the right people. I'm going to start saying D&D like. Star Wars 5e is apparently things. Star Wars D6, Star Wars Saga Edition, Star Wars RPG by Fantasy Flight Games. So you got a couple options there. You're welcome for doing your Google search for you, but I really don't know. I'm not the biggest Star Wars guy. I love Lord of the Rings. I love what's like comparable to like Star Wars. I haven't seen all the Dunes yet. I'm trying to get my dad to watch Dune, and he's just like, he hated David Lynch's so bad that he's like, I will not watch it. I go, it is not even comparable. It's not even comparable. I beg you. But no, not the biggest Star Wars fan out there. Hi, Zach. Listen to episode 17 right after getting my wisdom teeth out. When you were a gym bro, what have I become? I'm just a D&D schmuck. I'm just a big chungus D&D schmuck. I used to be a real Chad gym bro, and now I'm just a big chungus D&D chunk. I'm sweating. What were your favorite workout splits and favorite muscle groups to hit? I did when I was cutting for 2 years because I wasn't in a big enough calorie deficit and I was dumb. I did push-pull legs pretty much the entire way through. I did like at one point, I don't even know what, nutrition and workout science changes every 30 seconds. Someone will right now comment something on this video. Note by the full 24-hour cycle, there's going to be a new study that just debunks whatever they say. And that's not to deter you from looking into it, but like there is a reason people can make entire YouTube channels that have been going on for 10 years and every week have an episode where it's like, turns out you can have more than 60 grams of protein in one sitting. Turns out you can, actually, it's a lot of that. And there's a reason to it. So listen, if I've outdated old things when I was a gym chad and not a big chungus D&D chud. What was I even saying, dude? Yeah, I would do push-pull legs, and then I feel like I never did shoulders, so every now and again I do shoulders again, but every like gym bro has one thing. It's either your hips, your knees, or your shoulders, and I'm a shoulders guy. My shoulders are really bad. My knees were pretty bad too, but recently as I moved into my 27s, my late 20s, it's been my shoulders. So what was the second part? Favorite muscle groups to hit? Arms. It's the easiest day of the life. Like if anything, back and arms, like it's just the best. Like, it's a bright day. It's the best day ever. And I'm literally like, I'm like Mad Max, dude. I have my reins over my steering wheel listening to like EDM on the way to the gym. And then my big dumb chungus life when it's leg day and it's raining. If you like leg day, you're not hitting legs hard enough. It's just that's the one scientific fact I can say. If you love leg day, you're not hitting them hard enough. You should hate leg day. Leg day should be the worst part of your week by far. There's also like, I don't do leg day any day I do the podcast because I don't record on any day that I do legs because I'm dead. I have no energy. So D&D podcast, by the way. P.S. If you take another long break from the podcast, I'm going to cry. I don't think I am. I have no plans on doing that. I really like doing the podcast. Again, if the podcast got 200, listen, if the views go all the way down to 200 a week, I'm not going to stop doing the podcast. I just like it. I enjoy doing it, and I'm not going to stop. When I'm done, at some point I might be like, I'm done with BoldTakes and Bad Tempers, and I will move into a different format. It'll be a whole different show. But like this, I love doing this. Hey Zach, been listening to the podcast and really enjoying it. It's starting to make me want to get back into D&D, but my friends and I just have no time. Lovely mix of blue and white collars. But I did have a question about a campaign we ran a couple of years ago that was super fun. Listen, when I say super when I'm reading, it's not me saying it, but sadly had a really unsatisfying ending. My friend made this amazing homebrew world based on 5e, but it combined all fantasy medieval elements into 1910s Europe, so there are many knights with swords fighting alongside with artillerymen and propeller planes. You should look into Trench Crusaders for aesthetics for something like that. I love, not Trench Crusades, Trench Crusades. Trench Crusaders? I am wrong. Trench Crusade. I love Trench Crusade. I've never played the game. I'm not gonna because I don't paint and whatever. It's a war game, so it plays like Warhammer. I just love this aesthetic. It is so freaking cool. It's like this ultra dark, like World War I aesthetic mixed with demons, and it's very cool. I love it. I don't even know what other word I should use to describe it. He also added magical cell phones using wizards as phone operators and a bunch of other cool world building stuff, but this is about the story. Real quick, I like TVs. I don't know why. There must be something about like TVs, phones, computers. I don't like having any of that in any of my games. If I have a steampunk game, if I have a diesel punk game, it's too grounding. It's too real. And that's why I didn't like the Spider-Man set as much because I'm like, and there were elements like that in other sets, like Karlov Manor and Duskmorn and stuff. But this is a D&D podcast. We don't talk about that. I joined the campaign late, and this was my first D&D game ever, so the rest of the party was set up. But the DM did a great job of integrating me into the party. I wanted to play a Warforged fighter, so he had me as the trophy day one fighting in a tournament set up by the big bad evil guy. We got into the role play. Thank God we made that term instead of just main villain. Thank God we did big bad evil guy. That's awesome. We got into the role play, had a few good sessions that helped me set up and mostly resolve my backstory in a way that beautifully tied to the main plot, but some real life stuff happened. Our friend group had a falling out with one of the members of the party for reasons unrelated to D&D. But I guess this made the DM not want to continue the game anymore. So one member doesn't want to play. So the next time we checked in about doing another session, he just goes, all of you froze to death climbing a mountain, and the Warforged is stuck as a slave to the army for the rest of his life at the end. We've had other campaigns in this world. This is so bizarre. But this ending was really disappointing for all of us. Is there any way the DM could have done this better to prevent the whole campaign falling apart halfway through? Zach, we were playing this campaign for about half a year, and then we had one of our friends having a falling out, and then the DM absolutely nutted out of his mind and just killed all of our characters and said, bye-bye. He killed all of our characters and said, bye-bye. Also, the Warforged is a slave now. Forever. Zach, was there a better way my DM could go about this? What kind of question is that, dude? What kind of question is that? Zach, I've made this intimate, awesome character, and it was literally the glue that bound our friendship together, and the DM had a falling out with one of these guys. Is the guy who is running your campaign the same guy who wrote 2.5 Men? For those who've never seen the ending to 2.5 Men, I highly encourage you to go look into it. I won't say it on this for all the two people who are in the middle of watching 2.5 Men right now in their life, and I don't want to spoil the insane ending. Let's just say some people have grudges against others, and they don't care about optics, about how it looks when they try to resolve that. Zach, is there a better way? Zach, is there a better way my DM could have gone about this? Your DM IRL could have just been like, I have such a despicable, vile hatred for whoever this person is that is now out of our game that I just, in my head canon, like, it just didn't end well for you guys. You kind of just went missing. They in person, they literally probably could have just taken a big pie and smashed it on your face. And they could have grabbed 1,000 balloons and tied them around you and let you float up into the stratosphere. And this would have been that would have been a better ending than this. Zach, what kind of question is that? Zach, could my DM have done this better? Yes. They could have done it 1,000,000 times better. But instead, they wanted to kill off all of you because they hated this guy. What happened? What possibly could have happened against this player and this DM to be like, I want to eradicate any semblance ever of any interaction I've had with this person? And then they go, again, love the podcast. It really helped me recognize the archive for my city planning department. Oh, it really helped as I reorganized the archive for my city's planning department. I thought that was like in-game, but that's like a real job you do. Yeah, I think what you got to do now is you need to run a campaign for this DM. And I need you to really spotlight them. I need this campaign to go for 2, 3, 4 years. And I need them to and you're kind of cooperating with all of your other friends and players at this table. And you just when sometimes you're just like a leader in a D&D party, I need you guys to really frame that around him. And it will be his story is definitely the one that's most explored. In some way, it kind of mirrors, he's isekai himself into this story. He wants to see truth and he wants to experience sin or whatever. And it's just it is his story. And you guys have devoted 4 years of your life. And then at the very end, when the end of his character arc happens, I need you to have this happen on a mountain. And then there's a huge avalanche and his character's just blown away. And that's how I need you to narrate it. He's going to look in the eyes of his wife he's been missing. He's searched for the last 4 years for his wife. And right as he sees her, you just go, and then an avalanche comes and blows you away. And then I need all of the other players to clap. And they go, yay, yippee, yippee, yay. What about my story? Are you serious? And then you go, that's it. And then you all get up, you pack your stuff up and you leave. And then while they're sitting there, wait, guys, wait. Just turn off the lights and close the door. It needs to be like the ending to Saw 1, where the lights turn off and he closes the door. So that's my advice. Hi, Zach, super big fan. I'm not saying super. It's written, and I think the podcast is super. Okay, well, now I see what you're doing. My group friends, 4, have been struggling to find new games to play together, and I'd love to recommend D&D. None of us have ever played before, but I watch a lot of live plays. And the community calls them actual plays. The community, they're TTRPG actual plays with a BBEG. Does that make sense? We actually call them BBEGs here in our TTRPG and an actual play. Do those words make sense to you? Due to my familiarity with the genre, I would put myself as the DM. Do you have any recommendations for a first play for all noobs, and what it is the best way to introduce D&D to new players? Any other tips would be great. I'm sure you'll cover them all in a rant, though. I actually don't have a rant for this. I say just make your own thing. I'm don't. The very, very first game I played, it was an extension of this first level one-shot I did. But it's just much better if you just make your own thing, because then it's not like you have to reference a bunch of rules whenever. You just make it up as you go. That's what I say. I say just play and just get it over with. Just get into it. Hi, Mr. Bold. I was hoping to get your opinion on a game I played 6 or 7 years ago. Nandayo. Watashi no namae wa. 6-7. Cobby Lane Mechanism. It was a 5e online game. Dude, if you guys haven't seen that clip of Trey Parker, one of the guys from South Park, watching a clip of the show he made going 6-7, it is hilarious. I highly recommend you look that up. It was a 5e online game in a looking for game Discord server. Okay. For a second, I had no idea what you meant by that, but okay. The DM said he would play with less homebrew than he normally does, but that didn't really happen. We were required to play homebrew. Forest creatures like hedgehogs and deer, actually pretty fun. As level 0 peasants, shout out Historia if you want to do that yourself. Not sponsored. These guys have never sponsored me once, but I dearly love that book. As we played forest creatures like hedgehogs and deer as level 0 peasants with no hit dice for resting, which comes relevant later. We would need to get 5 levels in this class before we could pick a real class and then restart at level 1. He also wanted us to play with the gritty realism rules, so a night's sleep is a short rest, and a full week in a village is a long rest. Guys, I won't do much homebrew, but you guys are going to be playing hedgehogs and chickens, and you have no HP or items or anything, and a short rest is actually 4 days, and a long rest, and he just hands you a Rubik's Cube. Once you solve the Rubik's Cube, then that's a long rest. Also, as peasants, we wouldn't get any armor or weapons except for a quarterstaff. When we would get magic, we would roll a d4, and you would roll a 1, you'd take damage, and no longer be able to cast spells until the next long rest. I hate stuff like that. I hate when you just take a damage for just playing the game. It's just such a noob DM thing to do, in my opinion. The campaign starts fairly normally, but with 3 sessions, our home village burns down. We take significant damage from the fire and ask him if we can rest. He says no because the village is destroyed, but the nearest city is 5 days away and we can walk there. And it'll be 21 gold total for the inn for a week. I think I was at around 3 hit points and our barbarian was around at 5. Each night we camped on the road and we weren't allowed to roll hit dice to heal because the peasants don't have any. Also, anywhere between 1 and 3 thieves would break in to steal from us every single night. They would just take an item or money and run. None of us had ranged weapons, so we couldn't stop them. And I just, is the DM the whole time going oh, this is so good. He goes, this is so gritty and realistic. This is so good. Oh, we're going to steal from it. They got to know how gritty and realistic it is. They're playing hedgehogs. They're in the Frog and Toad universe. They would just take an item or money and run. None of us had range weapon couldn't stop them. We ended up barely making it to the city and didn't have enough gold for the long rest. The DM said we could go on a quest to get money, even though we had never healed from the previous fire and couldn't take a single hit. The campaign fizzled out after that, and we never got past level 3 peasant. It was really obvious. I just wanted to rant about it because it was my second ever campaign, and it made me stop playing for a while. What are your thoughts on those rules? They're dog ass. They're terrible. When growing up, you have a modded Minecraft couple months thing, and one person always wanted to play RL Craft. For those who don't know what RL Craft is, it's literally imagine if you wanted to play Minecraft, just more masochistic. You punch a tree to get bark, and you use that bark to make a stick, maybe, right? And then you'd have to claw down gravel for 30 hours until you finally get a shard of flint. And once you have 17 shards of flint, you can make 1 flint. You can tell I've never played RL Craft because I hate it so much. And then finally you can make a pickaxe head. And then what do I think of these rules? I think they're awful. I think they're abysmal. I think that I don't know what this guy was doing, but it seems like he got off his kicks. He got off on making a game that was just so gritty and hard, and oh my God, they're just so. Why don't my players want to play anymore? I set up one of those things in cars that make it when it explodes. God dang it. Airbags. I put airbags under my players' seats, and if they cough during the session, it'll explode them into the ceiling. Zach, what do you think about these homebrew rules? Zach, what do you think about these homebrew rules? I think you're a victim. I think you've been through a traumatic moment, dude. I don't know what to say. I think in theory, maybe it could be cool if you wanted to. I just hate. It makes me upset because I know the DM did this so that you guys could think he's cool, or they or she, that they're just the coolest person on the planet. And it's just so exhausting. What do you say? What do you say at the end of that? Like you do, like at the end of like a session like this, you just go, how do you in the middle of it just not be like, what am I supposed to do, bro? Like, how do you not get like pissed? And the DM's there. And then he's on r/D&D horror stories. I tried to make this cool homebrew. I put so much time into it. All my players hated it. Hello, Mr. Bold. I have two questions, one more important than the other. One, I think the thing I've never seen people talk about in discussion boards or subreddits about TTRPGs when they talk about optimized classes is the fact that the GM is a human being. I'm a meta goblin myself, and I find it very hard to play a barbarian without a race that adds constitution strength. So I'm not perfect. I love the 5e alternative rules. We can just decide attribute bonuses however you want. But so often the conversation around Ranger is centered around how bad the kit is, when in reality, not every campaign is going to lean into the strengths of every class. You can be a cleric and go a whole campaign without rolling religion. Am I nuts, or am I making a mountain out of a molehill? Are you from the South? Is that what that is? First off, that's a bad argument because clerics can inherently use their full kit without rolling a religion check. And like a large part of the kit for Rangers depends on if they're in the correct terrain, if they're fighting the correct monster, if they're fighting the correct... I think Rangers are fine. I think they are. I think a Gloomstalker Ranger is good. I think that there are other ways of playing the game in which you're not like... But I think there's a way if you feel like you're not doing enough damage, not helping enough, and you're a Ranger, just talk to your DM about it. Maybe they can give you an extra magic item or try to balance it out. But I've played with Rangers that do more damage than any other spellcaster or martial class that I've ever seen in my life could possibly do. And they almost play like a min-maxed monks in Baldur's Gate 3. So I don't know. I really don't know what your argument is. I don't think that's really the same thing at all. But yeah, I've talked about this a million times before. You can flavor whatever. I just use the rules so the game's balanced and I don't have to think about it. Because I'm making a story. I'm not making a rule set. And the second question is about how do I play Kenshi, but I'm not playing Kenshi anymore. And I'm not really an advocate for Kenshi after my last experience. So it was fun for 2 days. Hello, Zunk the Unk. Love the return of the podcast. I had a hard time not bursting out laughter at work while I listen. I was definitely part of the 0%, and I went like, oh my gosh, when you shouted out Battle Creek a few episodes ago. Oh my God, you can tell how long this question's from. Question, do you think Stranger Things last season plus all the tie-in box set and Critical Role using 2024 rules instead of Daggerheart for the next campaign will cause a surge in popularity for D&D games similar to 2015 to 2020? Also not sure how to donate to bump this question. Like, no, I can send money. We'll probably have a Patreon soon, so if you want to. I mean, like, it's totally going to be if you want to. No. Let me think about that. Is the new season of Stranger Things going to be the equivalent of 2015 to 2020 and now that Critical Role is using? No, actually. I think, no, it's not. I think absolutely no, it's not. I don't think Stranger Things is going to be as big as Stranger Things was. Yeah, no, I think we had a really couple of hot years. And I think, honestly, like us being all at home during COVID really helped the D&D community as well because people played D&D games online with their friends. They could watch Critical Role and Dimension 20 all day. Then we had the movie, and then we had Baldur's Gate. No, I do not think that. I think there's going to have to be more that will happen. But we're still riding. I think it's helping us maintain that popularity. I do not think it would be a surge, like something like we've seen. It'll definitely maintain it, but we had a movie in a theater. We had like the most popular video game for like a good like half a year, where like just that's anyone talked about, anything anyone talked about. It is still like it's one of the best games ever made of all time. Zach, do you think it'll be as big as the 2015 surge, 2015 to 2020 surge when we had a full cinematic movie and one of the best video games made of all time, and everyone had time to be at home to watch Dungeons and Dragons content? Do you think because Critical Role is using the 2024 rules and Stranger Things is coming back after 40 years of not having a season? No, I do not. I don't at all, actually, but we can hope. We're going to move into, it's a short episode, I know, but we're going to move into super thanks. Zach the Giant. For a second, I thought this was the guy, what's his name? Zach Speaks Giant. I thought that's what this was for a second. And I was like, oh, hey. Sent me big 25 of California money. Oh, my God. Canadian. I've been watching your podcast episodes back to back, and I wanted to say thank you for making me laugh and giving me kudos to film production crew. I used to be a lamp operator. It felt like being in a war. I'm sure. I've been struggling with my new emergency response job for the last year, and I've been watching your pod to decompress. I decided to take up D&D again since high school. Now it's all I look forward to, and I owe it all to you. Oh, well, I appreciate that. I owe it to you, not all to me. For inspiring me to ask my friends and commit at an evening of rolling dice and role-playing goofy little guys. You got to decompress. You do a good job. You do a stressful job. I'm glad that you can use D&D for that. P.S. From one film bro to another, the lighting and camera work in your shorts is amazing. Wow, your acting and writing is amazing. It makes me cry sometimes, especially after a tough day of work. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. I actually have a buddy of mine who does commercial work at a very high level, and I'm always asking him for advice. So it's not for me. He's kind of been my mentor since college, and he's about 10 years my senior. And he kind of keeps me up to date because I've realized that, like, at a certain point, I'm like, oh, it's been 4 years since I've really been in school and learning about how to, and I've had experience and stuff, but I'm trying to learn more about it. So, you know, as time goes on, we've gotten new tripods, we've gotten new lights, and we're going to get, I've been saying this for a while, but we got to get new lenses as well. Taco sent 5. I've been listening since episode 1, and I'm jealous of Papillon for getting every shout out every episode, so I'm going to start giving you money too. Well, thank you, Kako. I appreciate you. Blue Bread 00 with another big 10. When you were telling the festival story, I felt that my soul had a girl in high school ask me to a Sadie Hawkins dance where she didn't talk to me the entire night. Oh, man, dude. And then I caught her grinding on another dude. Oh, man. It is a ritual all naive young men must traverse. Keep up with the creative work us blue-collar guys struggle with. You make demanding days go by a bit quicker. Yeah, dude, I like looking through those comments and people being like, yeah, we all have stories like that. I think that's so funny. Yeah. I forgot about Sadie Hawkins. That's when the girl asks you, right? I never had a Sadie Hawkins. Sesame seed oil sent a big $50. Can't wait for corners. My 12-hour shifts at the sick people moving factory, the ambulance. Was there 2 ambulance people sending in money? Thank you. Breeze with your sweet nothings. As always, thank you for filling my head with wisdom and correct takes. Well, thank you for the big 50 sesame seed oil. I really appreciate it, and thank you for your good work for what you do for the community. Papillon 7210 sends a big $10. Dude, you're taking away my player agency by stopping me from getting the mind blasted and reamed. Dude, I can't read. Inside out by a chaos artifact. Well, you're trying to take away my player agency to turn you into a sashimi for being an effing heretic. Maybe don't do that stuff right in front of my fanatical religious zealot character. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I get questions and I'm just like, was I in the wrong for this? Your friend is lucky that wasn't me looking at him. B Original 1205 sent $15. Hey, D&D Germa, big fan, longtime viewer, and super chatter. I come to you with a small problem I'm having at a table. I got to get going. One of my fellow party members have a few qualities that me and my other players think are a tad odd for the game. Their character is a self-insert fanfic they wrote for an existing anime property. They also wrote having a galleon spelljammer and a crew of 5 NPCs that they designed with player character sheets and a bunch of magic items. The DM knew maybe half of this. Okay, they seem to be self-absorbed about, and if their character, they seem to be very self-absorbed, you think? If their character isn't involved in the last section of a session, they will flat out leave the session early if they deem their character isn't involved and really talk about interactions outside their character. Keep using physical dice in an online game when we 100% need to roll dice online so we can verify the result as the amount of times they have failed can be counted on one hand. Anything I can do? How do I bring up these without sounding like a complete dick? Also, maybe spend a few more minutes on super chats in the future episodes, and if you don't, I'm going to have to explode your mind. Yeah, great. You asked me on the one time I have to, like, leave to the airport in 10 minutes. Okay. All right. So this is what you do. You grow a set of buck nuts and you go, hey, maybe it's not all about you. Hey, maybe it's not about you. Maybe you can like match them, right? You can match. Now all of a sudden you have the same thing. You have a galleon. I mean, that's petty, right? But we want to be petty here. You have a galleon and you bring in all your characters and whatever. And when during their part, you get up and you leave. See how they feel about it. And since you said it, you can apparently explode my mind. Be like the tire from the movie Rubber and explode theirs. I don't know. Sorry, I can't spend more time on it. Ignis Fiend sent a big 200 Argentina money, 200 pesos. I don't know. I don't know what this kind of currency is. Hey, Zach, if you're a little burnt out of Commander, I recommend you the Four Souls card game. It's awesome and it emulates the experience of Commander very well. Great. Yeah, I love Magic because of the Commander format. Don't at me. Hey, Zach, greetings from North Dakota. $20 from La Ninja Walrus. Some good friends of mine got me to try out D&D a few months back, and I've been absolutely loving it. Shortly after I started playing, I came across your channel and have loved both the short and long-form content. Corners in the podcast have been awesome to listen to. I'm out delivering packages for Papa Bezos. I had a question for you about a character I'm playing in one of my friend's multi-shots coming up soon. Too long didn't read. He's a satyr werewolf with no control of the hybrid form, but full control of the werewolf form. But my other friend who I'm playing with have been playing D&D for over 10 years. While they're awesome at not metagaming, my question for you was if you have any tips on playing off lycanthropy to avoid suspicions until the full moon hits. Love your content as always, and happy birthday to your dad. Thank you. Any tips on playing off lycanthropy? Lycanthropy? It's just a thing that happens, guys. I think it'd be a funny bit if you just like gaslit the heck out of them. And just how do I role play a lycanthrope and to be like, it's not during a whole moon kind of thing. Playing off lycanthropy to avoid, or lycanthropy or whatever it is, to avoid suspicions until the full moon hits. It just does this sometimes, dude. Yeah, say you're a druid, I guess. And I guess you say you're a druid. Well, I haven't seen you. Well, because I'm metagaming. Because I'm metagaming. This is the only thing I can turn into. It's only during full moons. And then you're like the tire from the movie Rubber, and you explode their head. You're like Millie Bobby Brown in Stranger Things. Ah! And you do whatever. All right, I gotta go. I'm sorry. Thank you for the super chats. Really appreciate you. I hope you have a great week. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you for stopping by, and have a good one. Bye.